But as you can see, I'm obviously here in person. This is me, not a clone of me. And the reason I'm here in person is because Pennsylvania is so important to the future of the world. So, you know, you show what matters by your actions, not your words. And my actions are, I'm here, I'm in Pennsylvania, and I'm here for a very important reason, which is. I can't emphasize enough that Pennsylvania is, I think, the linchpin in this election. And this election, I think, is going to decide the fate of America, and along with the fate of America, the fate of Western civilization. So. You know what? I'm being told at times that these are like right-wing values. I'm like, are you insane? This is literally the fundamental values that made America what it is today. And anyone who's against those things is fundamentally anti-American. And the hell them. And you know, so I actually lived in Pennsylvania for 3 years, by the way. I'm no stranger to the state. I lived in the city for 3 years. I went to school here. So, you know, so I know the state. I'm not some, you know, just arrived situation. You know, I've been here, spent 3 years of my life here. So it's a great state. Love it, you know. And yeah, yeah, it was awesome. But you know, the thing is, like, I was talking to friends of mine who, like when I went to Penn, it was very dangerous at the time, but everyone thought it would get better would get better as the years went on. You know, one of the issues was like students would get killed from time to time, and that's pretty bad, obviously. And I was talking to someone who recently graduated from Penn. They said, actually, it's worse. And I'm like, it's worse? What the hell is going on? You know, it's like, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the reality is that if someone is a violent criminal, you know, where they either are unable to control their violence or they like it, if you do not incarcerate them, they will hurt people. That's what it comes down to. So if you don't put hardened criminals in jail, they will kill people. That's what it comes down to. And that's, unfortunately, the situation we have here is that the Democratic Party will not put hardened criminals in prison. And so they roam free, and they prey upon you, and your kids, and your family, and your friends. This is insane. How can we be, you know, the most powerful country in the world, and it's not safe to walk around our cities? What the hell is going on? Yeah. I mean, Soros, honestly, misanthropic. You know, he's for someone who has, you know, sort of claims to be doing good, but actually he is not. You know, he is tearing down the fabric of society. So terrible. Yeah. But I think it's just unbelievable that like, you should be able to feel safe walking around American cities. And it's not just, you know, Philadelphia has a challenge. New York has a challenge. Every major city in the U.S. Like my mom lives in New York, for example. 3 of her friends have been assaulted on the street this year. You know, it's like, and it's getting worse. And now, when she takes her dog for a walk, she has to stay, you know, inside of the building so she can call for help if need be. This is not the future we want. And if we get 4 more years of this, I mean, we're going to be fully Mad Max, you know. And it's like, oh, it's nice to watch a Mad Max movie, but we don't want to be in the Mad Max movie, okay? so yeah, and then the whole border thing is just insane. You know, I always want to try to figure out what is the truth of the matter, what's really going on. So on the border situation, it's like, is it real or is it not real? So I went there in person, and I just literally live streamed what I saw. And our border looks like World War Z, okay? It's like zombie apocalypse, it's insane. So this is, if you don't have a border, you don't have a country. Yeah, I mean, we're just saying, like, we have to have real borders, or if you don't have real borders, you don't have a real country. And obviously, as someone who's an immigrant, I'm pro-immigrant. I just want to make sure that people who come here are going to be assets to society, and that they're going to raise our standard of living, I think the sort of sports team analogy is a good one. So, like, let's say you're a pro sports team, you want to win the championship. Well, you have aces on your team, obviously, because they help the whole team win. So the same is true for immigration. If we have this sort of equivalent of, like, Kobe Bryant or Steph Curry or LeBron or something like that, they want to join the team. Like, absolutely, of course. Do you like winning? Yeah, okay. But if they can't play basketball, they shouldn't be joining. So that's real important. And and then something that doesn't get a lot of attention is the fact that the federal government is spending America into bankruptcy, which is crazy. It's sort of, and that's really what leads to inflation. Is that when the government spends more than it brings in, that's what causes inflation. Yeah, it's just a pernicious tax. So there has to be we have to radically reduce the amount of government spending so that we don't rack up a debt that is impossible to repay and drive the country to bankruptcy. So, I mean, just basic stuff, really, These shouldn't be controversial topics. It's just like normal. Common sense, exactly. And you're seeing all these attacks on freedom of speech, and they're like attacking me for freedom. It's like, yo, that's the First Amendment, like literally the first one. Tells me it's a high priority. And the reason they had the First Amendment was because the countries people came from, if you spoke your mind, you'd be imprisoned or killed. That's why you have it. That's really important. And then the right to bear arms is also really important. That's there to protect, I mean, the Second Amendment is there to protect the First Amendment. So, as soon as the government can disarm the people, they can do anything they want. And we've seen this in one country after another. They take the guns away from the people, then they do fake elections, and then the people try to protest and they just get shot. That's what happened in Venezuela recently. They had a fake election. Maduro lost, like massively lost, like 70% loss. And he's like, "Oh no, I won." And everyone's like, "Oh, you didn't win." There were big protests in the street. But the thing is that Chavez, when he came into power, took away everyone's guns. So now you're facing, soldiers with assault rifles. Were you going to throw some sticks at them or something? Use finger guns? It doesn't work. So Maduro, even though he lost the election, is still in power, and that's the kind of risk that we face. So we got to do everything possible to protect the Constitution, and I think this is yeah. So for all of those reasons, that's why after thinking about it hard, it was very clear to me that Donald Trump has to win this election. It really does. Yeah.
Elon, first of all, welcome to Ridley Township,
Thank you.
Delaware County, and welcome to Ridley School District and our beautiful high school.
Elon, first off, you're my hero, and I love your sneakers.
Thank you.
So if you do choose to be the head of the Department of Government Efficiency,
Yeah, Doge.
yep. What do you think about we stop giving money to other countries such as Israel, Ukraine, and we stop funding forever wars that most likely is going to the deep state anyway?
Yeah. Well, I think in general, the amount of waste that happens with the federal government is really staggering. It's a staggering amount of waste of taxpayer money. And if we're, for any given expenditure, we have to say, well, what does this do for the citizens of America? Like, how is this good for the people of America? It's their money. Like, for some weird reason, a lot of people in the sort of, state or whatever, the politicians, they seem to forget that the money being spent is your money. And if it's not being spent in a way that is beneficial to the American people, it's a misuse of the funds. So, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of money that's being spent where sort of illegals are getting more benefits than citizens. And, like, what the heck is that? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Hi, Elon. So as we bring government spending and look inward to our country, I am a government employee. I care about innovation and efficiency. With your vision for a Department of Government Efficiency, what can we do? How can we support you? And also, how can we spot the needs of people in North Carolina? The body count is abnormally underreported. What can we do to press on that and to support people within our country?
Sure. Well, I do think that government efficiency is not simply about reducing the size of government, but making sure that there are incentives for excellent work. So if somebody's, whatever you incent will happen. So if you have incentives for excellent work, and by the same token, if someone's not doing excellent work, they're exited. Just like normal. It's really what happens in a properly functioning company is that you reward, or think of a sports team. The players that are doing well, they get rewarded, and the players that are not doing well, they exit the team. And that should just be how it works. And I think that'll have a profound effect on the effectiveness of government, because whatever you incent will happen. So if the incentives are aligned with saving people in North Carolina, then that's what'll happen. But if you have a sort of a failed response to the disasters, to the hurricane disasters, and no one even gets fired, well, okay, what do you expect? No one's going to take action. So people if there's a track record of failure, you have to exit the people who failed. Otherwise, people will look around and say, well, I guess I don't need to do anything because, nothing bad happens to you, even if you do a terrible job and people die, which is insane. So.
Welcome to Delaware County, and I want to say congratulations on the successful redocking of your...
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Thanks.
I'm going to go...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a great week. We had the Tesla sort of cool autonomous car and robot stuff, which I think it's going to be really, really great. I think, who wouldn't want their own personal C-3PO R2-D2? It'd be awesome, So I think that we're going to build some awesome helper robots and autonomous cars, and then this is a good day. Fate is smiling upon us here. Thank you, and we caught the rocket, which is just totally nuts.
Yeah,
amazing.
Amazing.
You see that rocket booster? It's the largest, heaviest flying object ever made, and it just got caught by Mechazilla arms. Kind of like Karate Kid, but bigger. Catch on the fly with the chopsticks.
So
yeah.
my question is, do you think there is a shadow government behind the Biden-Harris administration.
I mean, well, let me put it this way. It's not Biden. We know that for a fact. Okay. The dude has like barely got 2 functional neurons. So, you know, it's like, and he just seems to be at the beach a lot, and
So
he's obviously not in charge. So, I mean, when the polls started going low on Biden, he was saying, oh, he's staying in the race, but then I guess the real powers that be told him he's not, you know? It's like,
So who is it that's behind him? We know Obama, okay, but Obama.
I mean, I'm just as curious as you are. You know, it is as far as I can determine, there isn't any one sort of puppet master. It's more like there's 1,000 or, I don't know, a lot. But I mean, I'd like to talk to them to understand more about, listen, what are your goals, puppet masters? I'm just curious. I mean, maybe I agree with some of them. It's possible. But it's just obvious that Biden's not in charge. It's obvious that Kamala's not in charge. I mean, they just replaced the Biden puppet with the Kamala puppet, very obviously. And it's, you can tell, like, if the teleprompter stops working, then the puppet breaks. And it's like, oh. The puppet just starts looping because the teleprompter broke. I don't have a teleprompter. I can just talk like a normal human. So I mean, I think it's not, from what I can tell, it's not one puppet master, it's many, but, you know, interesting to see the crossover between the Epstein client list and Kamala's puppet masters. I bet there's a lot of names that appear in both lists. Absolutely, and I'm hopeful that Neuralink can do a lot. Actually, you know, initially providing the ability for anyone who's lost the brain-body connection to be able to interface with their phone and computer faster than a human with working hands, which is, I think, really cool. And then, but down the road, I think it'll be possible to restore a whole-body functionality. If you have a Neuralink in the motor cortex that then shunts past where the neurons are damaged in the spine, I'm confident that long term you can actually restore people's ability to walk and use their hands.
Well, I would love. I appreciate it. I would love to work with you on getting support around here, but
yeah, and in fact, one of the things that, you know, and to be fair, the FDA has been, within the context of their current rules, has been actually quite supportive. They've given us sort of express lane, you know, because they've seen the quality of the work and the sophistication of the technology. They have given us sort of fast track approval, but still you know, our progress is limited by regulatory issues, and that's the same thing that's happening with SpaceX. It's like SpaceX can build a giant rocket faster than the license can be processed by the government, which is insane. So, you know, I should mention, like, one of the most fundamental things about me supporting, and maybe the biggest showstopper of all for me, in terms of why I feel Donald Trump must win, is that we have to have sensible regulations. We have so many regulatory. Last time I checked, we have 428 agencies. There's more than an agency a year has been created since America was a country. Like, we've got almost twice as many agencies as years that America has been a country, which means an agency has been created. You know, there's like sometimes two new agencies per year created, which is just madness. So America is being smothered by overregulation. It's like I call it slow strangulation by overregulation. That's the, yeah. So, you know, now I've had quite a bit of interaction with the government, you know, because SpaceX is the biggest NASA contractor, actually. Does a lot of work for NASA, and I'm a big fan of the agency, by the way. But there's, you know, there are expenditures that don't make a lot of sense, that are wasteful, and we need to put a stop to that. Honestly, the there's so much government waste that's going on that I would call it a target-rich environment. Like, it's hard, like in every direction. There's this just mad waste. And I think simply, if people simply know that, well, if they waste a ton of taxpayer money, they're going to get fired, that will immediately improve the situation. Immediately.